Hello. It's time to stream. It's actually properly streaming time. I didn't accidentally start the stream prematurely while I was setting up. Pay no attention to the previous notification that I did, but whatever. I shouldn't be bringing attention to this, but it is what it is. Welcome to the Massive Brand Artstream. I'm back after 2 weeks of being sick and constantly coughing. Finally back to kick some tail. I have been sick for the past 2 weeks, I'd say. Been coughing a whole lot of times, been choking on a lot of my own mucus, I'd say. Nothing fatal, but it made it really, really hard to actually talk consistently. Like, probably the last time you saw me try to stream, I was just absolutely cooked, man. I just could not. But, this stream, I'm trying something a little bit more different. And if you hadn't noticed, it's a Monday night. Much different than my Wednesday night streams. And that's because I'm currently on spring break right now. I'm off of work for the next week, so it's kind of my own personal time to kind of just experiment with some stuff, get some last minute art things of the month done, and kind of just veg out. I don't have to go to bed early, so I probably might even stretch this past 9 usually. But yeah, what have I been up to for the past, say, 2 weeks, I'd say? Let me probably just nudge my seat down because my head's just cutting off. You're probably not even seeing my fro here. So, you're probably wondering what I've been up to. You probably aren't. You're probably just coming in to chill out, enjoy some Tim Folding music. I should probably just turn down the volume, actually, because you probably can't even hear me. There we are. That should be slightly better, and if not, I'll let it go. Music. I'm of two minds about music, because it's kind of like, it does fill in the gaps where I don't talk when I'm drawing and when I'm kind of just in laser focus mode and I'm constantly just drawing and I need to make it more of a, me thinking about the drawing and not really thinking about the how I'm drawing. I'm getting into Ultra Instinct. And I debated with myself about whether or not it would be worth it to do a mute stream. And I figured it probably would be fine. You're not really answering questions, you're mostly just watch me draw. That's usually what people come to art streams for. So, I appreciate you all kind of stopping by and following my art streams just for that, just seeing my artwork and, ask me questions, veg, have some fun. All that fun. It's been pretty decent, I'd say. Last week, yeah, I was just mostly sick. Last week was mostly just me completely sick, just nursing my cough and, choking down a crapload of cough drops to kind of just get myself to just deal with my throat stuff. But, things have been okay. I've been doodling stuff and writing. I've been mostly trying to just get more writing stuff done. I got some blog posts done on my website, massivefan.com. That was my personal website, and kind of just announcing my next conventions all the way into April, which is a little small amount, I'd say, in terms of appearances, because I believe I'm on the waiting list for Anime Central. So I'd say my current my current two conventions is a high school show called HeroCon, and then I'm gonna be going to Blurred Bash in Lombard, and I don't really want to talk about the location of HeroCon because it's a high school, so it's kind of iffy for me to kind of just dox the location of that. So I'm mostly just making an appearance with that. But yeah, that and the other one is Blurred Bash, and that's a larger show. That's in Lombard. It's in Northern Illinois, like most conventions I go to for the past few years, because travel ain't cheap. So that's kind of just how that goes. But other than that, I don't have any significant shows till probably later in the summer. I've been rejected from Chicago Comics and Entertainment Expo, so I might visit, or at least walk the floor, go to some panels. I guess maybe try to show editors my portfolio, but there really isn't much to really do at C2E2 beyond that. So probably won't have like tabling stuff there. At Anime Central, I'd say by now I am probably rejected, or at least just on the waiting list. I haven't gotten a confirmation, which it's sad, but I suppose it's fair. Anime Central, I had like 2 good runs of just getting in, and I believe they're juried. No, it's a lottery, if I remember right. Anime Central's a lottery, so I just didn't make the lucky draw. Yeah. But let's see, other tasks. Nothing significant. I've mostly kind of just been keeping my head down, working on a bunch of my projects to kind of just get things done and reduce my costs. I feel like a lot of my things are more expensive, I'd say. Like getting the sticker sales and working on new sticker, working on a bunch of little things where they're kind of expensive. Let me just mute my phone. I would like to just mute my phone because it's streaming time and I should be just blocking that time. Just streaming. So that's one of those things where I'm kind of doing some dumb thing where I'm kind of just dedicating this time to streaming because it's probably just unusual with that. I should be hanging out with friends. In fact, I kind of am. I went to a tattoo convention with my friend yesterday. So, Sunday, 24th. That was the Chicago tattoo show, or at least the Villanard Chicago tattoo show, which is its proper name. And it's a really nice tattoo convention. If you want to get a tattoo, you go there and you get a tattoo just right on the spot. You got a lot of people taking missions for, doing tattoos, putting that ink on your arm. So, I'm not a tattoo artist, but I went there to kind of just find out how do you become a tattoo artist. And I've actually did this last year, but it was coming out this year, and I forgot that I told my friend that I wanted to go to the tattoo convention again this year. But it's all right. Just going out there, picking some artist brains, showing them my work. Mostly just brought my sketchbook with me because I'm not just gonna haul my giant, portfolio full of comic pages. That's kind of excessive. Sometimes I wonder whether or not I should actually be hauling my entire portfolio to editors, because you live in a time and age where you got the internet. You can make your own website for pennies on the dollar. Plus, you got Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. TikTok's not good for images, I don't think. But you know what I mean. With online, you don't have to haul a physical thing with you. But I do want to at least keep the keep a tangible thing so editors can really work with. So I'd say if I go to C2E2, I'll probably just bring copies of Shirley's Day in Games, or just to let them know, hey, I exist. If you need a comic done, I can do it. And I haven't done a comic in years because I've been fighting to write, or at least learning to write. But that's kind of just one of those things where I'm improving, I'd say. I'm getting past that point in learning to write where I'm now more into getting words on the page and then fiddling it into a narrative where I have the outline, but now I'm kind of just elaborating on the blocks. Like, okay, I have this outline, I need to fill in the actual details of the dialogue here. And I'm getting stuck here, so I'll just jump to another part that's a little easier to work on. So I'm doing that, but I'm still not in that, I guess, point of writing where I could crank out a draft in like 2 hours. Like, I would love to be one of those writers where they can just crank out a draft so you can just get to editing. I mean, I probably can't be Stephen King, but I've heard of writers able to write a first draft, like a 22-page first draft in a week. I know it can be done. And I'm always kind of just bothered by how mediocre I am about a lot of skills and things like that. I'm an amazing artist, sure, but I'm completely unfocused on stuff where it counts. Like, I have designs, but I don't have characters, if you know what I mean. I don't have narratives to them. I don't think of their personalities super hard when I draw and sketch in my sketchbooks. So, kind of just going over this again and again. So if you follow me a lot, you know that I do this. I have this dumb spiel about, I whine about how much of a suck-ass writer I currently am. I can improve. I could totally improve. I mean, Adam's been trying to, pitch me to just do it in ChatGPT, and I'm like, bro, no, I don't need that. He tried to, pitch me with, him doing a D&D campaign where he had, a character speak as if Quentin Tarantino wrote like that. But it's kind of I guess my kind of just road bump with that is I don't want to write like Quentin Tarantino. I want to write like Ryan Francis. I'd be fine with taking an influence from him, but I would like to find my own voice when it comes to writing. That's kind of my own personal foible with that. It's why learn an art if you're not going to make it your own interpretation, You do art to explore your human feelings and emotions and matter of communication. That's the point of doing human stuff. And as much as I want to be that complete logic lord where, I'm not completely borked by feelings of self-doubt and bad emotions and jealousy and envy, it's needed because that contrasts with the good feelings. So, that's one of those things that I'm still trying to just get through. I'm 32 and still a bit of a shut-in, I'd say. I've never really taken significant adventures in my life. I guess the most adventurous thing I've really done is kind of just, go to a tattoo convention and just see other artists do honestly cool art. And I feel like they are just really much more expressive. It's back when I went to Pancakes and Booze back in February. I was seeing more fine art with that, and kind of like seeing tasks with art beyond, I guess, my own circle of Marvel and DC, pop culture. Like I'm seeing communication, and there's nothing wrong with the pop culture art. Like there's, I, but I feel, I guess, personally insecure sometimes, where it's like I'm, I draw all these characters and I set up my character life to say, hey, I want to draw cartoons. I like cartoons when I was a kid. I want to draw cartoons for a living. And, I spent most of my life, most of college kind of just being enamored by big comic studios or big, like, animation studios to be like, yes, I'm going to do that. Well, actually, no. I always wanted to have my own studio and make my own indie animation because I want to be creative. I want to do that pitch, and more and more as I get older and as I learn more about a lot of these animation studios and these creators and stuff like that. You know, these days you hear layoffs in the games industry, the animation industry. You're seeing a lot of the suits and the money holders and investors kind of just cutting out talent to save cash for that short 3 months, and they have to scramble to rehire new talent or their old talent because they now need to create a new product because they think in the short term. So that completely just knocks around morale to a lot of the artists and creators and writers and riggers and technical artists and lighting people that need to do the work to make everyone's like entertainment actually work. And the more they do that, the less they're going to find willing people who's up to actually dealing with that rigmarole. I'm sure they'll probably just outsource that because America, they have their own like actual labor rights, but outside of America they don't really have that. Like I know anime studios work for pennies in comparison, and while people say that anime looks incredible, a majority of anime looks like slideshows. Like if you play an anime mute, like no music, none of like the big hype music stuff, no the anime openings, you're not listening to the VAs or dubs or nothing like that. You just play it mute. You'll notice that just a lot of TV anime is basically just slideshows of manga. It's like those old I guess live comics, like live Marvel comics where they're making a version of the comic where they take each panel in it, but you just have characters sliding around and you have like cameras paint stuff like that. It's kind of like, all right. And anime, they do well with that. That's basically how they got their foothold in general. Their anime is damn good at camera setups and composition and cinematography. Like cinematography is gigantic with anime. A lot of, I guess, American TV shows. I'm not gonna say Western TV shows because European animation is, I don't know crap about European animations or like animations from Mexico or South America. I'm just gonna say American animation because that's what I know. But I know that a lot of American animation, they have more of a sitcom camera setup. They don't really have like there's a few more like talking heads when it comes to like American animation. And I think that's more of I think this is probably also more for comedy animation. There's a lot more comedy TV shows than I guess action or like variety genre and stuff like that. Like you don't really have fights in a lot of American animation. I guess if you're like I'll probably just talk before Steven Universe and Adventure Time me. But yeah, like you had a lot more comedy stuff overall than like actual full blown fights. Like they weren't adapting. Like they weren't really adapting superhero stories until maybe the 80s. Even then, they were doing some stuff like in the 70s and 60s and stuff like they were doing stuff. I know like those old Marvel cartoons, like the older Marvel cartoons, like 60s Spider-Man and like a lot of those are also basically slideshows from the comic panels. They'll probably make some adjustments for like a bigger TV screen because some comic panels will be like smaller slivers, others will be wider shots, but I believe like the box tube TVs are more square tubes and stuff like that. So, but yeah, like back then it was they had superhero shows, but they didn't have like full out fights. Like you did have kung fu fights overall, and in general, it's kind of it's you don't really have dynamic camera angles that complement those fights. But also, more than just the fights, you don't really have camera angles that make use of like 3D depth as much. Like if you know about like Bollywood's panels that just work, and I'm probably just gonna go bring them up in my reference. Actually, let's actually go find it. Bollywood's panels just work. I think I could find it. Boom, boom. Let's just go through it. All right, so let's just flip to the art screen where we have Bollywood 22 panels that always work, and these are kind of like panels that Bollywood made where he was kind of like a reference to for himself. He made it just to get himself to kind of just go back to that in case he had a lot of talking head panels. And honestly, I feel like this is probably just the best reference for kind of like even just television stuff where you're able to kind of just get more varied angles just to just make stuff interesting. And yeah, I don't really see a lot of basically just stuff like this as much as like in a lot of cartoons that I can find. And granted, it's been a while since I've seen a lot of like more modern cartoons. I have seen Gumball though, but no, actually no. Last, I guess the most modern cartoon I've really seen. I've seen episodes of DuckTales, episodes of Ultimate Spider-Man, a lot of animated movies, but not really TV shows, really. So that's probably a significant weakness, and I'm probably wrong with that. But, honestly, I'll just have this as more of like a just long tutorial and kind of just other stuff. But yeah, a lot of talking head stuff where you just have two characters chatting for a bit. And Oh, what the hell happened to the chat? Oh well. But yeah, a lot of panels you have a lot of people like doing talking heads, go back and forth. A lot of like a typical dialogue sequence. And you know what? Let's kind of just elaborate on this. Maybe like kind of just work with this. So a lot of, I guess, dialogue would probably be, two characters talking. You have character A, character B, and it's kind of like, just two characters talking. You'll probably have the couch in the back. You have the living room door, little picture. This is actually very tangenty. Like, look at this. I probably would. Ooh. Yeah, I'll let this go for now. But this will work. This will work. But yeah, you have like a typical background where you have two characters talking. And sometimes they will do things like do something like this, where we'll have two mid shots where you'll have two characters right here. They have a close character kind of just talking. Probably shaded, probably like that. And probably similar to this, where it'll probably be a back and forth type of deal. And they'll probably do another back and forth. And they just flip there and back like that as they go. And I'd say that's probably what a lot of cartoons will really go to the extent for. But I'm sure I don't really see a lot of just variety in like these shots unless you're going to more like high budget shots. Like you're not seeing. I think Invincible actually has done stuff where you'll have two characters probably having a conversation like this. You'll have one character kind of just brooding. And you're kind of just watching me kind of just do what's basically just remembering my stupid storyboard 101. Storyboard 101 training. Like, this is animation college kind of just yapping to me. And you're seeing me kind of just have outdated animation takes with this stuff. So that's kind of just little things that kind of just I try to keep track of when I want to plan shots more often. And I try to at least learn or at least stay in the habit of doing more things like this. But then you have you don't really have a lot of anime also will cut to objects too. They'll either cut to a water bottle that a character's been drinking and it'll be slightly empty. And a lot of that's mostly kind of for just mood stuff. Kind of like seeing them kind of just on, they'll be talking and it'll sometimes just cut to a little moody shot of maybe like an important household object that the person's probably, uses a lot. And, it might be the story relevant item. It might be the MacGuffin of the thing. It might be like, oh, here's the important item of power. You have like the freaking Master Emerald where, Knuckles will need to protect it. Otherwise, Dr. Eggman. Otherwise, Dr. Eggman will use it to conquer the world and stuff like that. And sometimes, a lot of anime will have shots like that to kind of just break up the talking head shots and to give a little atmosphere and, kind of flex the backgrounds and give the background artists kind of just something to you know, do when they're doing stuff. I'm making stuff up as I go, but that's kind of just what I assume when it comes to a lot of those background shots. But if you know what I mean and you watch a lot of anime and you probably know what I mean, it's stuff like that. You'll have atmosphere shots. And you'll also have little things where you'll probably have a little hand shots where you'll probably see them kind of grip their fingers a little to kind of just indicate their indecisiveness. You'll probably see the girl walking away, and it's a cool perspective shot, and you're seeing the guy kind of just being all sad. You'll probably see roses in the hand, maybe like he'll have roses in the hand, like flowers. I'm gonna just give him broccoli because it's dumb like that and I'm insane. But yeah, do something like that, and they like have a thing where there's the flowers in his hand first. Like this will be the first shot where you're seeing the girl here. Seeing the girl here, and she says, "No, I don't want to be with you." And then panel 2, she would turn around and say, "I don't want to be with you," and then she walks away, and the flowers would drop out of his hands because he's now sad. And little things like that also do well to show emotion. And I don't see that in a lot of TV animation that often. And that kind of stuff I do want to convey in more of my comics and my animations as much as I can to kind of just get myself to make more dynamic stuff and get better at storytelling. I can do stuff like this, and actually writing down the narrative stuff, I can probably like give myself tiny little shot directions. A lot of my first drafts are just me kind of just belting off sequences of the characters will speak and they'll be talking about stuff. And I don't really think of the shot direction or the setting or even the backgrounds and stuff until I'm actually drawing, and then I'm kind of like, okay, where the heck is where the heck are they actually standing? I don't really elaborate on that as much, and that kind of sucks about my work is I don't elaborate too much on my work. So I completely forgot where this tangent was going, but if I remember right, I think I was kind of just going through, I guess, my TV animation woes, and I guess my unconfidence when it comes to if I'm a good artist or not. But yeah, I should probably get to the thing you've all been waiting for, because this is more of a casual work night where I'm doing whatever I can tonight because I just don't. I don't have a significant schedule other than just this list of art tasks that I'm doing right now. So yeah, let's just get to work. And you know what? Very good. Very good. Let's get to just emote sketching. So, don't save that. So, tasks that I'm currently working on, I guess I'll just show this, is I'm currently working on a big collaboration where I'm redrawing a fake JoJo ripoff comic. And it's called Diesel, and basically, it's a ripoff of Part 3 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. The, Phantom Blood. Well, no, it's not Phantom Blood. I think it's Stardust. Yeah, it's Stardust Crusaders. It's Part 3 of JoJo. And it's basically a giant collaboration of me and a bunch of other artists kind of just taking each page of that comic and redrawing it. So I'm currently in the process of kind of just finishing the coloring of, just finishing the comic coloring. This is mostly flat coloring. It's real bright, so I'm gonna need to, do some real readjustments. But I do have some little short stints of kind of just, having fun. I'll give Jotaro a bunch of hats where, it's just Jotaro having every hat that he's ever worn in the entire series. And, we'll have a whole bunch of like little stuff. And it's kind of interesting because if you actually see the proper pages of Diesel, and you know what, let's pop you open actually. Doop doop. So if you pop this open, this is the actual page of Diesel, the ripoff JoJo comic. And it's interesting to kind of just try out your own interpretation of this comic. And, when I saw this page, I immediately, when I saw this panel, I immediately realized that this person was ripping off the Enduo intro. The Enduo, the blind water guy. And so I kind of just interpreted that as Enduo himself. I mostly just re-JoJo-fied this comic and kind of just made it, I kind of personally just made it more manga-ized just to see if I could even emulate Araki's style, which I can't. There's a lot of missing details. It's still my style, and it saddens me a little. I probably should have did a little bit more for this, but I'm kind of falling behind on this. I believe the deadline's in a week, so I gotta make some tracks on this, but not now. I'm gonna be working on that much later, because what I'm actually gonna be working on are emotes. So I've been working on. This was what I want to do an emote stream on before I pretty much just kept coughing up a lung and just flat out couldn't. But in my spare time, I worked on some emotes, and a lot of these are just Cole emotes. The initial Twitch emotes I put in my Twitch emote list, if you look through it, is a bunch of my pastry cat stuff. And, that's alright. It's a good, standard emote for anyone who doesn't subscribe. I figured I'll do my Cole emotes as subscriber emotes, just, for people to, give a little bit more incentive for people to subscribe, because I have, I think 2 people who subscribe to me on Twitch, but I don't really know what the hell to actually do with that. People give me money. What for? Why are you giving me money? I don't know why you're giving me money. I don't know. But, thanks. Thanks for subscribing to me. Thanks for letting me entertain you and talk your ear off about, I guess, me kind of just meandering and being completely unconfident in my own work. But thanks for bearing with me being an insane motherfucker. But yeah, so these emotes are just a bunch of just different Cole emotes where, it's just messing about with call kind of just having some funny little feelings. The boom, boom. Yeah. So yeah, so I just made 6 emails to kind of just have some fairly standard emails that I kind of feel like I go off of. I usually will drop a hello or I will say that I'm lurking. So I'd say these two were probably the first ones I came up with because I figured most people do just lurk the stream, and lurking the stream is always kind of just one of those things where a lot of people do. So obviously these are first, but then you have laughter. You got the LOL stuff, so it never hurts to have like LOL stuff. You got thinking, and then you have basically the raccoon meme, the scheming raccoon. I figured, okay, that's kind of funny. This one was supposed to be like that one picture of the fat raccoon that I feel like I kind of didn't do right. This is kind of the weakest of the 5 of these, I'd say. Like, I feel like these two aren't as hot as I'd say. Though honestly, the high one's also not as, I don't like the high as much as I could say. Also, words, I wonder if the word is too, I don't know. But I also made another batch of emotes where I kind of like dived into some more just funny expressive faces. So these faces are, I feel like these faces are a little bit more, they're a lot more. I was getting more into stride after getting the second page of this. Oh yeah, I kind of just had the NL face. This was originally a PogChamp, but then it kind of expanded into just, the One Piece Enel face, I think his name is. It's that infamous One Piece panel. That infamous One Piece page. So I figured I'd just do that, and this would probably be one of those, this one is basically kind of a what the hell's wrong with you type of face. And it was mostly kind of just me using the symmetry brush to kind of just mess about and then, do the general adjusted details and kind of just mess around. This one's kind of funny. It's the light skin stare type thing. And it's kind of just one of those just funnier ones that it'll be pretty fun to just do. And then I kind of like ripped off more of the full screen emotes. And this was actually more of these two were inspired more by the weird champ and the Pog U faces. But I did like the rabies face. So I do like these faces here. So I'm liking these last six emotes right now. And I figured just for this stream, I'm going to at least color and ink 3 of these just so I can just get through the day. So currently Twitch lets me put in 5 standard emotes and another 5 animated emotes. Okay. That's good. So yeah. That'll work. Alright, this is my color wheel experiments. And this was mostly me kind of just having these set up for animation in case I want to do any animated stuff with this. I have my animation folder, but I'm not going to work on that too much because I'm mostly kind of just gonna tackle this. I was gonna do pixel art for this, but I'm not gonna fret too hard about the. I figured this would just go much easier if I just did it by hand. I'm just going to put you in my tool belt here, because this, I don't want to do anything crazy elaborate, because, obviously I want to get this done sometime today. So, kind of want to redraw this, because I just want to redraw this, because give it a little bit more detail, and also get it more interesting looking and fill the space. And a lot of, I guess, my mindset when it comes to just doing these emotes, I think this is the first ever time I'm really doing these emotes. And I don't really know what to expect other than make them square and make them fit, I think, Twitch's standard, I think 120 or 112 by 112, I think it is. 12 by 12. Yes, 112 by 112. Yes, I also have Twitch's notes open, so that's what I'm doing. I could probably just just get that going. I get his face. Probably would make his mouth a little bit lower. One thing that I have a bad habit of is I keep putting his nose too close to the center of his face. And this is probably me kind of thinking this in terms of, I guess, furry proportions 101, but I feel like the closer you make the snout to the nose, or at least the closer you make the eyes parallel to the nose. If you do a furry drawing where the eyes are like this, it looks more cute. And if you have it slightly further lower, they look a little bit more mature. They look more like they have a longer snout. And obviously you could do things with smaller eyes, and they look more like animal-like instead of baby-like. And of course, if you give them angry eyes, they look much more animal-like. Hey, Chuck. Hey, Chucko Chuck. Choo-choo Bob. Hey, Choo-choo Bob, how's it going? Yeah, my Monday evening's going well. It's been pretty decent. Kind of just been chilling around and kind of just getting back into streaming again, because I was sick for the past 2 weeks and I didn't have a way to really just deal with that. But now I'm a little better, and I'm kind of just working on some emotes to get stuff going and improve this stream a little bit more. I've had this Twitch channel for a bit, and I'm able to do emotes, but I haven't really done much with that. So I figured, let's just make more emotes and mess about with that. So that's what I'm kind of just doing, is making some cool Cole emotes, and that'll be pretty nice for just improving the Twitch channel a bit more and make a little bit more fun stuff for people who show up to my streams. But yeah, this is a pretty nice night to just get some work done. I'm currently on spring break, so I spent most of the day kind of just relaxing and doing, just vegging out. I mostly grocery shopped this morning, though. I'm not gonna lie. I spent a lot of this morning grocery shopping, waiting in line, because I never realized that there are other people who are also on spring break. So that's kind of me kind of just not realizing, oh, hey, other people exist. You should probably care about that. And that kind of slowed things down when it comes to just making stuff, making a little bit of progress in my day. I'm currently snowed in with the rain on the way tonight, so there's going to be a crested layer of ice when I go to shovel tomorrow. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, it was snowing a lot 2 weeks ago when, back in, I live in Illinois, so that's where I live with all the snow stuff. So I hear you with all the spring snow. Yes, I am totally in your boat with that kind of stuff. But if you're getting snow, I can assume you're probably in a more colder spot like Minnesota. Or maybe you're out of the United States. I don't know. I shouldn't pry, and you don't have to answer where you live or anything. But I'll assume that you live in a pretty cold spot. All right. Fingers a little bit more open. Boom. Yeah, doing hands is always kind of just one of those things where maybe I could move this down. Oh. And then that would be the high. No. This is more than enough. Say. Yep. Fellow Midwestern guy. Yep, I live in Northern Illinois University. Well, not Northern. See, I'm not in college. I'm not in college anymore, but I live in Northern Illinois, and I get to have all that Northern Illinois fun. Right, with all that lake effect snow. Say 2 versions so you can pick between 2. You know, why the heck not? I do have the initial one, though. I just hang out with this. Though I am leaning towards this one because it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, do you want words when you want to go with the emotions of the word, the standard thing? And I probably could have let's duplicate you. Because I probably could just keep the straight hand, actually. Do that. Put the hand here. And it's more in the spirit of the original one. Though it doesn't fill it as much. Though, I probably could do some funny little scaling. No, that's not the one I want. Shrink this and make it larger. Foreshortening, kinda, sorta. It's sort of working. I could probably rework the hand so it's away from the border. Because again, I gotta remember that these emotes also need to be able to fit in the chat. So that's more than enough. Like you're seeing them from a distance. Like you're probably gonna see them this small. So I can't be worried about a bazillion different details with it because you're probably gonna see the emotes this small. So I gotta remember that. And thank you for the hydrate. I will indeed hydrate. Mm. That's also another one that I want to readjust is the the channel point stuff, because I think I kind of just have most of the standard channel points with just the basic, just typical channel point stuff. So I should probably at least work on getting some more stuff with that. So you're not. I'll just rework you. Oh, I'm paying on the wrong layer. And I shouldn't feel crazy about just getting elaborate details, because again, you're seeing this from a distance. I shouldn't be precious about the line art, but I do get crazy precious about the line art because, well, I'm drawing it. You know, it's one of those things where you're spending so much time drawing something that you don't want to mess it up, because you have weird personal standards of getting lines done. And this was actually supposed to be a mask, and then hatching. So lets you do that. Not tapering it a little. Probably should just do that, is give it slightly more taper. Again, I probably shouldn't be worried about that, because once it's down here, you're not going to see all the elaborate details. I'm actually going to leave that blank, leave this blank, and go back to the hood here. Yeah, dang it. I'm trying to fix a DLC for one of my simulators, and I'm at the point where I'm contacting the maker of the DLC because I'm just done messing with it. I've been trying all day. I'd hear you with that. Just today, I was trying to figure out the why the mailing list landing page wasn't working on the Black Mask website. I should probably also talk about that for Black Mask. But long story short, you can subscribe to the mailing list from the front page of the Black Mask the Black Mask website. So blackmaskgame.com is where you can see news of the video game that I'm working on with my friend, which is almost done. We're at the cusp of getting a demo ready. We're just there. We're seeing the finish line with a demo. So I'm excited. A lot of nervous, but I'd say that's the excitement. But long story short, it got me looking at the website a little bit more to kind of just, get things in order, get the housekeeping down. And I find out that the mailing list actually doesn't work. Like when you click the mailing list landing page, it just leads to a dead link. It doesn't actually go there, which means all the links that I've posted on social media don't lead to the actual proper mailing list. So the video game that I'm currently working on with a friend is called Black Mask, and this is its main character, Cole Black Mask, and it's a stealth-platformer game about this raccoon treasure hunter going around the various fantasy kingdoms of animals to hunt for treasure and solve mysteries of said animal lands. And we've been working on that demo for the past 4 years, and I suppose I'll just drop a link to the video here. Let's see. Let's get a video of Black Mask here. It's here someplace. Or better yet, don't have a command. Command. Bada boom. So yeah, here's a link to basically just all my, indie streams where you can just find where you can find the initial pre-beta footage of Black Mask and the initial, just the initial like pixel art videos and the working concept for the game. So that's what we've been doing for the past 4 years. We've been doing that, and we do need to make some new updated videos with that. I'm wondering why on earth you're not showing it on stream, but boom, 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 boom. Come on. You're there sooner or later. Come on, share. I guess I'll just put in the Twitch chat proper just in case anyone's interested in. Oh, you're a fan of Disney's Zootopia, so I'm just imagining it being in that universe. It's more likely to be in like the Robin Hood universe. I'd say it's more like medieval fantasy type stuff. Well, actually, no, it's more pirate fantasy. Like, it's a little bit more modern. There's explosives and better looking armor. And the means to go around the world, I'd say. But, there's the typical, like, fantasy things with, knights and dragons and stuff like that. Dragons, like, building giant kingdoms to destroy the other kingdoms and take their stuff. It's typical stuff like that. And, Cole is in the middle of it, trying to deal with that and, live that life of a cool gent while trying to achieve richness. So, basically it's come on. Yeah, it's basically a platformer game where, you're stealth, but you do use a variety of different weapons to either fight smaller enemies or take on just various different puzzles to figure out how to get through these dungeons or deal with the magic problem of the day that's plaguing the land. So that's the short elevator pitch of Black Mass right now, and so far we're nearly done with the demo. We plan to do a Kickstarter, and hopefully this year will be our year. It's March right now, so I'm sure talk to us around August, maybe. Talk to us around August. Hopefully we'll have something ready by August. That's 3 months. That's plenty of time, right? It's kind of weird. It's one of those things where, the foibles of game development, you never know what the hell you're actually doing. And both of us are, juggling and learning what the hell we're actually doing. And we're doing that while juggling, our day jobs and stuff like that. So we're all doing our best with what we got. Typical indie game dev screed. And, I do a lot of my drawing as such. A lot of my sketchbook stuff that you'll see on my social medias is half ideas for Black Mass and half just me getting through, the day and kind of just making various different animal character designs just for my own fun. So, Black Mass will come out sooner or later in whatever iteration I fucking pull myself through. I'm a railroad nut. Enthusiast, and I'm working on a game myself on Roblox that allows you to run trains through Zootopia. I've also made in such a way that Zootopia stuff can be removed if Disney decides to be a copyright stickler. That's a good idea. I personally would make it from the start. I guess my own like personal, I guess, screed on when it comes to, making fan art and stuff like that is I prefer to be influenced by stuff over, I guess, a fan of stuff. So I don't make fan art a lot, but when I do, it's usually a commission or I actually do legit like the thing enough to spend time to work on it. But overall, I don't make it a ginormous habit of me to make fan art. Now, it's not that I hate fan art, it's that the copyright thing is also a thing. You don't want to be the one being set an example of when the big mouse wants to kick your shit in legally. But also, I feel like you'll get more of a synthesis and it'll kind of like force you to be just as creative when you're not completely making the exact copy of the thing that you're a fan of. The big example that I'll say is Star Wars. So Star Wars kind of exists because George Lucas couldn't get the Flash Gordon license. Like, he's a big fan of Flash Gordon and a lot of pulp science fiction stuff. And because he used those influences and he couldn't just use Flash Gordon stuff, he was able to make a giant elaborate universe while it has its own familiar elements to Flash Gordon and stuff like that. He made enough different twists on it that it's unique enough universe. And that's kind of what I want to strive for when it comes to my own work. So Black Mass, it's a lot of influences of, a bunch of games that I like, Animal Fantasy stuff that I, read, like, Aragon and stuff like that. But I also like video games, too. You see a lot of old school RPG influences in a lot of my art. And, I like Pokemon. Pokemon has great character designs, as you said. And I try to combine all of that into, the art I make and the stories that I want to tell. A big example right now is Pokemon. They're going nuts with copyright strikes and cease and desist stuff. Really? Huh. Because from what I thought they were a little indifferent on the Pal World. Well, actually, no. I think I remember hearing stuff about them kind of like going after people doing like Nintendo fan arts on Newgrounds, and Newgrounds being like, I guess we can't really enforce that. So, I mean, that's an issue. I mean, Godspeed to them, but that's neither here nor there. But long story short, like, I appreciate the fan projects. It's nice to do fan art, but in my personal opinion, creativity should be encouraged a little bit more. I mean, obviously, writing what you know is good, and usually most people are going to know their favorites, franchise and stuff like that. But for my own, my own purpose, I want to go into the basically the journey of learning how to pitch my own original stuff as, my own art, and try to get myself to learn how to get people to like my own characters as they are, instead of people liking the franchise and stuff like that. And you're just a good artist who can draw the franchise. Where it's kind of one of those things where if you're a fan artist, more people are going to follow your art for the thing that you made a fan for than your art. Like, they're not there for you. They're there for just their daily fix. So, Star Fox or Zootopia and stuff like that. They like Zootopia more than you as an artist. So that's kind of my own like thing with that when it comes to why I don't really make fan art that much. Because I try to cultivate an audience where, people like my art first, and then, whatever like different art thing that I do. And, it makes, growth and virality and clout slow, I suppose, but I'd rather have that. I have the audience I deserve. Like I remember there was like this artist podcast interview where they kind of like make that quote where you have the audience you deserve, what you cultivate when you make comics and make a certain like thing and design stuff. As you design stuff and you put art out there, you'll get in the audience that your work resonates with. And the way your work resonates will be projected from, your own emotions and, your own attitude towards life and things like that. If you're a total asshole and you spread asshole mentalities, you're going to attract assholes. If you're racist, you'll attract racists, that kind of stuff. And, I want to encourage a philosophy of trying to just be more original overall. So that's kind of how I tacked it. It's not that I hate fan stuff, it's that I want to push myself to be more original. Like, I want more has-been hotels in the world than, I guess, Spider-Man Enter the Dark, or whatever the hell that one fan Spider-Man thing where the main character is kind of a dirtbag. It is what it is with that. All right. Let's hide you. All right. And then we can just call this line art black color. And then we can kind of just fill it in as I see fit. Yeah, fan sites are going down like flies right now. And with that fandom, I'm not a part of it. I've seen articles every day on it. Yeah, that's a tough thing when it comes to being a fan of basically like other people's intellectual properties. Like, yeah, it's mostly a luck of the draw on whether or not they'll be cool with it. Some people are cool with it, but at the end of the day, they still have the legal right to take it down. Like, Sega's actually a good example of that. So, Sega actually runs like a fan Sonic games thing called Sage, where you can make your own, fan Sonic games. It's a nice, like, event where, you'll make fan games for Sonic. Pizza Tower, I found out about Pizza Tower because they did a Sage demo for that. And that's kind of real cool with that. And, Sega officially, they officially endorse that. And, I think that's how Sonic Mania got. I think that's initially how Sonic Mania came out. I don't remember the story 100%, but I believe or at least that's how people I think that was a part of the path to Sonic Mania. Is Sage and all the Sonic fan games. But it is to Sega's discretion to axe whatever thing that doesn't fit their needs and stuff like that. Like, if you make a Sonic fan game, and I'm not a lawyer, I'd have to contact this one game lawyer that I know. But I believe how he's explained it is if you do make a fan game and you sell it, Sega has all the rights to axe that. You're not allowed to sell that because that's theirs. You weren't supposed to sell, you weren't supposed to use their stuff. They gave you the permission to do it, but that doesn't mean that, you were supposed to use their stuff with that. Yep. But if they gave you the approval, like if you weren't selling it, but you got their attention, they wouldn't really bother it because it's a fan game that they officially licensed, or at least they officially approved of. This is supposed to be, Sega will do it on their discretion overall, but they can basically just axe your stuff. They can axe your stuff whenever they like. Also, fair use is also another legal tricky hole that a lot of people can get tricked on if they don't dive into it, because fair use still needs to be proven in courts. Like, you could win the fair use trial, but if they go after you and sue you, you actually do need to get a lawyer to actually make the case that it is actually fair use. You can't simply just have a thing out, say this is fair use, and you're absolutely safe, because the IP holder, in that case Sega, will say, I don't believe that's fair use. I think you're full of crap. And you would actually need to get into a legal fight. And of course, lawyers are expensive. Legal stuff is expensive. And Sega is a multi-billion-dollar company. Well, million-dollar company. They aren't that successful. But they're loaded enough that, you, John Doe, are not going to have the cash to actually legally fight. So that's kind of like the little thing when it comes to dealing with corporations and stuff like that. Long story short, corporations aren't your friend, and you gotta watch your back, because they are mostly helping you at their own mercy. Like, they're mostly just doing it because they're being nice. And they cannot be nice whenever they like. And there's little you can really do. So, in terms of, Nintendo and stuff like that, they legally have to do all their stuff if they want to keep all of their, they want to keep the value of their copyright and their IP and all that stuff. It's a whole lot of legal rigmarole that is well beyond my pay grade. But yeah, I mean, nothing really stopping you from doing fan art, but obviously keep your head on a swivel and don't feel like Nintendo vetoing you or Sega vetoing you or Disney vetoing you is new or different, because that's kind of just how they do. I'm doing it all in fun and I don't care about the money, but I want to make sure I'm not going against the Origin IP. How do you go about that, would you say? If you ask my lawyer, well, he's not my lawyer, but if you ask the lawyer friend that I know, he would just flat out say to stop. Like, it's their IP and you don't want to mess with them. But because there's so many people doing it and they have bigger fish to fry, you're not as likely to, have that enforced on you. But you don't want to be the lucky SOB that they have their sights on. So in terms of should you or should you not make fan art, I personally would like go against making the fan art and trying to shoot for making, more original characters or original IPs, or doing the premise, but then kind of just making the characters look different. Like instead of, a rabbit and a fox, have it be two foxes, or have them be both rabbits. Because Disney doesn't have a copyright on rabbit police officers. But Disney has a copyright on Judy Hopps, the rabbit, the gray rabbit with purple eyes, who's a police officer of Zootopia Police Department. And, Disney will go after you for that. But if you did like a rabbit cop who's brown and, doesn't have like purple eyes, probably has like blue eyes or something, and it wouldn't be Zootopia, it'd be like, Animal City, or maybe like Animal Village, maybe. You'll have more the ability to get away with that because, it's distinct enough that Disney won't. I think it's like a brand confusion or whatever it is, that actual legit legal term or whatever it is. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know 100%, but that's kind of like, I think, basically how you're able to not step on those toes. It's like the difference between Mighty Number 9 and Mega Man. You can't copyright gameplay systems. Like, Capcom can't copyright the ability to platform and shoot a laser gun or shoot a projectile. Like, they can't really do that. But they can copyright the image of a blue robot who can shoot yellow lemons. And, he's a blue robot. He has green eyes. Like, the image of Mega Man, Capcom can go after you for that. But if it was like more of a, different robot or something like that, Capcom doesn't really have a copyright on robots. So that's why Mighty Number 9 can still be around. On a lighter tone, Zootopia 2 is confirmed for November 2005. Okay, that's kind of cool. Wonder what they're actually going to do with that. Because, Zootopia, what? I think Nick's a cop, I suppose. So I guess they'll explore the relationship, and I guess they'll just do stuff with that. I don't know like what they're gonna do for Zootopia, but good luck to them. I probably won't watch it in a close enough time because I no longer have time to watch movies. Like, I have this to do plus other tasks. I'll make this black. No, make it more of a darker. Yeah, do that. Okay. But yeah, Zootopia 2 is coming out. What other things are coming out? I heard about Kung Fu Panda 4, and I'm massively disappointed. Like, I love Kung Fu Panda stuff, but, if what I hear about 4, like, I'm not feeling too happy about how 4 is turning out, so that's kind of just one of those things that's kind of just hurting me inside, is Kung Fu Panda 4 is not very good. So that's kind of just bummed me out with that. I think I like Kung Fu Panda more than Zootopia, honestly. And that's mostly like me just being a dumbass anime guy, being like, oh, I like it when the animals fight. It's cool as shit when the animals fight. Yeah, but yeah, Kung Fu Panda is out. Let's see. Most of the fandom ships them as a couple. I do too. Makes sense. So either they actually like go over, I guess, the logistics of whether or not you can like breed a rabbit and a fox, or they're probably going to skip that entirely and just make them friends, which it's entirely possible. They'll probably just give them a Mulder and Scully situation where, they're more mutual than anything else. I'm not against, people just being mutuals. Like, sometimes you don't have to have romance. Like, I'm not super choked up if they don't get together. Probably like make the inside of mouth. And that'll work. But yeah, what else? Talked about Kung Fu Panda 2. Let's see. I know they absolutely axed, they're still not going to do anything with Coyote versus Acme. I think that's probably just dead in the water. Let's see. Dang, ad came up right as you read the comments. Can you please repeat? Oh, yeah, most of fandom ships them as a couple too. I do too. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm indifferent to whether or not they do actually get together because, it's very likely Disney will try and just make them a Mulder and Scully situation where, they're just more mutual. So, I'm not super choked up about it, like, if they do it, they do it. And if they want to explore, I guess, the concept of the interspecies relationships, they can do it. Maybe they'll be able to do it right. I doubt it, but, if they try it and they have the budget to do it, go nuts. Let's see. And what else did I talk about? I guess I like Kung Fu Panda more. Like, overall, as a person who, I guess likes animal animation, I like Kung Fu Panda mostly because it looks like the animes, and that's such a basic bitch reason, but that's kind of the truth. That's kind of just why I like Kung Fu Panda. Okay, probably just make this more of a sharpened angle. I probably could just actually readjust it as a... Alright, so let's see if we can't brighten up these colors just a wee bit more. As these colors are a bit dull. These colors are a wee bit dull, so let's see if we can't crank up the saturation just a little bit more. Okay. Alright, so far so good. And it looks like a decent emote. And I could probably do some like shading and lighting stuff, so I'll just do some symbol. I do need to maybe elaborate on the nose a little bit more. Kind of like give it a bit more of some light. That looks good. So let's save you for a bit. Yeah, most of the original cast agrees with the fan of the director, or even the director was on board with the idea of interspecies relationship and possibly even procreation. Yeah, I mean, that would be, that would be the logical next step. Because otherwise, there really isn't any other place you can really do that hasn't really been treaded on by any other piece of media. So what was I saying again? Oh yeah. But yeah, I mean, I do also want to explore that in Black Mass, the idea of like, chimera and hybrids and stuff like that. Because that's kind of it's a minor plot point, and there's some like things that I'm interested in exploring with that in Black Mask. And of course, it's a matter of like actually having that damn game come out. But I'm not gonna elaborate on that until we actually get the freaking demo out, because I do feel sometimes handcuffed when it comes to elaborating on story things, where it's kind of like, all right, I want to write this story thing, but I cannot guarantee that it'll actually make in the game, because, oh, what if it's too scaled up? What if it's, we don't have enough time, or we don't have enough budgets? A lot of things get cut in video games. I'm kind of like, I sometimes regret like jumping into making a video game, because writing a video game is completely different than writing a comic. But, storytelling is still storytelling, so that's why I'm still just hanging on to that stuff. But long story short, I do want to explore that type of thing with like the hybrids and chimera and stuff like that. In Black Mask. It's just a matter of actually doing it. And we'll just call you Light. And we'll make you kind of more no. Let's call you Dark. Now, make this. Call you the Dark. Make this multiply, and then we'll just elaborate on this being a whole bunch of shading. If I can, I know what's wrong. But yeah, having to cut stuff you worked on for weeks is painful too. Oh yeah, that's kind of par for the course when it comes to, I guess, working on notable, I guess, big creative projects. Is sometimes you kind of have to scrap things. Sometimes you'll have to scrap story sequences. You'll have to scrap concept art. Like if you read any art book, you'll find concept art that doesn't exist anymore. You'll see concepts where characters are kind of like, oh, this would have been a cool character design, but they didn't make it in the game because they either didn't have the modeling ability, or that character couldn't fit in the story, or that character was buggy and just could not work and couldn't be implemented. And, things like that can happen. But yeah, lots of things can be cut, and that's kind of just the nature of the beast with that. It's difficult to really, it's really tough to deal with, but that's what I kind of need to get myself acclimated to. Another thing that you probably need to remember, or at least I also need to remember, is most people are just going to A-press through things. Like, as much as I fret about, oh, the story's got to be perfect, most people, like the general layman, is just going to A-press through that dialogue just to get the gameplay, because they probably don't care. And they just want to get to, whether the gameplay's fun or not. Or they're replaying the game, or, they're just going through, just learning how the game plays. So, that's also a thing that you kind of got to keep in mind, is that, some people are just going to skip the dialogue or skip plot points, or they'll skip tutorial things. Like, there's that yellow paint controversy on Twitter that was a giant nothing burger. And it mostly kind of just indicates that, you know, it just indicates that, oh, people don't like having their hand held. And then you talk to a game dev and they're like, actually, no, people are dumber than you think. And it's super hard to get players to just go in a simple direction, even if you think we've elaborated on it enough that they can, you know, even when you think that, you know, people would be smart enough to navigate a 3D space, they kind of aren't. You know, there's a lot of times where, you know, maybe someone's playing a game and they'll miss a door and they're going to blow 30 minutes trying to find that door, and they're just getting more and more frustrated. And, you know, that kind of stuff can really just knock down an experience. And it's not really the dev's fault, honestly, at that point, because they can only drop so many hints without just being intrusive and just jerking the player to the spot. You know, a lot of people kind of like complain about video games being hand-holdy, but it's kind of like, well, I mean, it's not like people really know what they really like. I think at the end of the day, it's another case of you don't know. Like, most people don't know what they want until they get it. And then they don't want it changed until you change it and realize, oh, this change was actually better. And, or they stop noticing the change. So that's kind of just one of those things where, you know, I guess that's a life lesson where you kind of need to figure out as you go. Well, maybe not 50. Yeah, I've had to scrap a 50-page fan fiction chapters because I forgot about a plot point from earlier that nullifies a recent chapter I just finished. Oh yeah, that is basically what editing's about. That is what professional writers do. That is, when a professional writer edits, they're very likely to encounter a plot point in their editing process where it ends up completely screwing with a chapter, you know, several chapters ahead, and are kind of like, oh, well, crap, I don't know what to. I completely dropped this plot hole, and now I've kind of like wrote myself in a corner because I didn't elaborate on this back there. And so they gotta make the difficult decision, either scrap an entire page or go through the rigmarole of figuring out how to rewrite it. And that's typical of most writers, I'd say. So don't feel too bad about needing to scrap your work, because all the best do it too. And they're right there with you. Okay. I'm nearly done, I'd say. Yeah, this is supposed to be simple, but of course, nothing's simple. Boom. Oh, I forgot I did that kind of situation. Oh yeah, that's gonna happen a lot, where you're gonna need to restart most of your stuff, or you're gonna need to rework a completely different sequence because, oh, it's not actually working. Or you changed a character, or you add a new character that's now making this old character not work. A lot of common writing thing is killing your darlings, and that's kind of among that, I guess, pile of things. Is sometimes you're gonna have to make calls that you don't want to do, but it's gonna make the story better. And kind of gotta make that difficult call of saying, okay, this kind of sucks at this part, but if I cut it out, it'll at least make the part not as difficult to understand. Sometimes you'll write something that you think is understandable that most people reading it is not going to understand. That's usually what the purpose of an editor is, to be that third eye to kind of just figure out, okay, what are you trying to say here? And then they work with you on that. Like, they try to work with you. A lot of people have this misconception that editors are going to ruin and delete all your work. When it's actually more of the opposite. Editors are going to try their damnedest to get your stuff to work. Like, they're there to make sure that you can actually back up the thing that you're trying to do. You know, you don't break your own lore, or you don't break your own canon, or you won't break either your magic system, or you won't you have like a high concept able to actually explain to either the audience who needs to know about it, or the shareholder who's funding the book, or maybe like a pair of beta readers who, they're also reading it too. So that's kind of like how editors work. And that's mostly in a nutshell. That's in a nutshell explanation of how editors work. Obviously, there's more to it, but that's in a nutshell how editors work. I've said that 3 times. Let's see. You know what? Sometimes we'll just leave that. Alright. And then last of it, kind of just and we'll kind of just shade the bandana here. Nearly done. I'll probably just make it more here, because it's supposed to be flat piece here. Oh. What color is it normally? We'll make it this color. Microns are alright. And then that should be good. Go back to multiply. We're all now savvy. Well, we've got 1 out of 1 done. How does it look for that distance? Looks alright. Looks kind of alright. This looks emoty. Take a drink. I could probably stand. I could probably stand to make this slightly lighter so it stands out some more. And I could probably color the lines a bit as well. So I could probably have the lines colored like this. Nudge it darker. Always difficult to determine whether or not you should make the lines colored. Because it is a nice practice to kind of just have the lines just slightly colored for, just ease of the screen and stuff like that. I think I'll probably just leave it like this because, it's nice and cell shaded, and, it has a nice distinct silhouette. I'll probably break down the shadow here. Yeah, break out the shadow here to kind of just give it a little bit more pop here. That should be good. Technically, I probably could just actually give him eyes. The one thing that I keep doing with Cole is I never remember to give him like normal eyes. He either will have this. He either will have the typical like superhero mask style, or he will actually have eyes. And I think the reason I do that is because, you know, usually he'll probably be at a distance and it's easier to kind of just do stuff like that when he's far at a distance. Like with these other sketches, he actually has proper irises and stuff like that. But sometimes I'll not give him eyes. Like he'll have eyes like this, but then this one he'll actually have normal pupils. And I constantly flip-flop between that because, you know, that's kind of just how I do it. So yeah, that's one. And I'll probably just I'll let this go for now, because there's still a whole host of stuff that I do need to do, because if I want to do animation, I'll probably need to cut off this arm and then break it into like a normal frame and stuff like that. So I'll probably do that another time, but for now, we'll call you High Still. Call you Shade. That should be solid. Looks good. Overall, it looks pretty good. And I can probably just put the sketch here. All these sketches. Oh. Sketches. Oh, it's high. Then I could probably just export this much later. So that's 1 out of, I guess, 5 done. Then I could probably like make it smaller. Like, let me see. Oh, I just realized that I put his eyes. Yeah. Let me use a lasso to kind of just cut these eyes out. X V. Call you eyes. And probably just erase that. Because again, I usually kind of just like the you know, the superhero mask look to him, personally. You know, if he's like gonna be smaller, like if it's gonna be at this distance, and you're just in chat and kind of doing the high emote, this is plenty, I'd say. So we're just gonna let you go here. Control S, and see if we can hop to the next one. And let's see, 8:36 p.m. All right, so I'd spent probably an hour actually working on this from scratch. Let's see. While you lurk, save that. Copy. V. Okay. because there's a foreign object on that I cannot see, I'm just going to just get rid of that. I'll call you sketch. So I actually overall like this look with Cole. He's nice and quiet with that. And there's actually plenty of space that I could probably just make this larger here. So I think for now, I can attempt maybe some lettering here. Letter. All right. Because I'm bringing back this, I might as well Because I'm bringing back the text tool, I'm going to actually use the proper UI, because I'd rather use the actual UI for the text tool than actually do the thing. So what I'm actually going to be doing is I'm going to start with a white color, and then I'm going to set it to, with the text direction vertical, make it bold, and give it a more probably a blocky look. Give it. There's my fat writing fonts. Yeah. I like Whoop-Ass. Whoop-Ass is a nice font. That'll work. Go through that. Oh. Edge, we will make this edge probably like this color. A nice off blue color. I'm now beginning to use more off blues than pure blacks when it comes to my digital art, because it'll look more pleasing in the eye than just making crushed blacks. And when I'm inking, I'll set it up to be a crushed black, but in general, I will set up to be that. And that's not vertical. That's not vertical at all. I want it like this, but I want it going down. Doesn't do that because Illustrator can do that. Illustrator lets you do the I could swear there was a setting where when you type it, it actually goes down. Because that's what Illustrator does. You can type it, and they would all just flat out go down like this automatically. They used to be able to do that. And, well, actually, no. I don't know if Clip itself can actually do that. I need to look up a bigger tutorial. Oh. Let that go for a bit. And then make you be 40. Again, I want this to fit inside the text box here. One thing that's kind of like driving me batty with Clip's text tool is that it has this weird bit of space above it. And like, I don't know what it's doing. Like, I don't know if it's a alignment thing or not. I'll just let it go. Alright, we'll just let the text be this. Lock you. Make you impossible to see. Sketches. And the only thing I'll elaborate on this sketch is that I'm going to give him some proper hands. You know, multiply and then make this even more hard to see so I can see where the hands are supposed to be. There we are. Nice and easy. Probably blacked, more likely. Okay. And then we'll just more elaborate sketch. Yeah, that really describes it. Value color. And then we're just going to just burn in and I'm just simply using the typical just no brush thing. I'm just going straight, no like pen and no size changer brush, because it's sort of not going to matter because it's going to be a smaller emote. So that's kind of one thing that I'm doing that I'm just going to let go of, is giving it a size changer. And this stabilization is driving me slightly batty. I'm gonna nudge that just a wee bit. Like, put that there. Put that here, boom, boom. And this was actually a much faster ink than I anticipated. Again, this stabilizes the crap on my brushes, which drives me a little batty sometimes. And I feel like it's not just the stabilization, but I feel like it's also my machine. Like, I feel like my computer doesn't run. I think the reason why I'm not liking digital art like I do with traditional art is that there's a slight bit of lag when I'm drawing. And I don't know how to explain it because you're not drawing with me. But I feel more sluggish compared to drawing on paper, kinda. Like, I feel like I'm drawing on such a slight delay that it's slowing my just drawing and creativity brain down. Like, I'm spending more time dealing with the frustrating painting aspect of it instead of enjoying making art. So that's one of those things that really tends to get my gizzard in a short, to put it shortly. And I am totally making up horse shit right now, but that's what I mean. Crap. There we are. That looks pretty alright. And now we gotta refer to the previous. Oh, crap. Oh, then. That's why things are kind of just incorrect. Because it was accidentally selecting this too. Okay. So, first things first. Full alert as I could probably just get rid of the text tool and just go back to being full screen. And learning how to full screen is, you know, just like anything else, it takes a bit of time to learn. Like, I'm not an expert at doing things super full screen. Like, this was me readjusting a lot of my Clip Studio settings to, you know, let me function with this. So, a lot of this is me kind of just me working with panels, command panels. And basically I have a panel that of common panels. So you have my layers panel, my brushes panel, my brush settings panel, and my actions, and then my coloring panel, each as like little pop-ups. And it's possible that you can set up your panels in a way where you don't even have to actually tap your keyboard shortcuts at all. Like, you could probably just draw just with the tablet and right clicks and stuff like that. And you might even be able to actually get away with it. I don't know how you do it. Well, I probably know how, but I don't want to go through that elaborate brush setup. Excuse me. But that's probably how I would tackle it. Bring back lurk. Color you in. Oh. Which brush am I on? Just want the standard round color boy. All I want, because this is just my fill brush. Probably could use a lasso tool, but I'm not using the lasso tool. There's no time to use the lasso tool. We're already here, bros. So yeah, I'd say this is nice and straightforward. I'll probably work on one more emote before taking a break, then kind of just nudging myself into just working on some pixel art stuff. I hide lurk. Hide lurk once again. Get the color of Cole's orange. Make it just a simple triangle. Sometimes I will just confuse my panels. And there's little recourse I have other than yeah. I'm probably hitting a point where I'm now just getting tired. I don't feel tired, but it is getting harder and harder to kind of just talk and draw, because there really isn't much else to say about my process at this point. A lot of this is mostly just me doing the same thing and getting that to work for me. Okay. Call you flat. Drax. Put you a multiply. One thing that I don't really do is I don't really keep track of my shading colors. One, usually I'll put on multiply and never remember what color I actually put my shading. So a lot of this is me kind of just half remembering the shading I use and half kind of just winging it a little. Oh. So I am very likely to be just doing whatever I need to do to make this look interesting. Not really thinking too hard about things like color theory, because not only am I not that super versed in color theory outside of basic shadows are cooler, lights are warmer, that sort of thing. I'm kind of, I'm kind of green when it comes to this kind of stuff, so. Boom. Boom. Still, things are looking up, bro. Sometimes I'll just let go of a more egregious shading thing, because it would add nothing significant. All right. Now I could probably make this text orange, perhaps. Then make the outline make the edge this color. That'll work. It may do a fast gradient thing. Nothing crazy elaborate, just some simple, dead simple line work. Yes, it looks like the Sonic logo. Why? Because it makes the letters pop out easier. That's about it, really. There's no super elaborate reason why I'm doing this other than make the letters pop out harder. It may like make you desaturated and make you pretty rim light. Give you a bit of a rim light here. It's subtle AF, but it works. I made interesting lettering, and it's going to be tough to change its color, but it works. Heck, it even works like this too. But you can see it from a distance, and that's the point. Kind of looks like Cole has little moons for eyes. I could probably do some readjustments where or probably have a over eye thing where sort of fills his eyes just a wee bit more. Sort of works. Kind of working. All right, one more emote. So far, so good. Let's try one more emote, and then I'll take 5 minutes. Yeah, I'll do the laugh. The laugh's a nice, like, core. I'm gonna do laugh. Like the laugh tail of Gold Roger. Well, I have been better with the coughing stuff, so I'm pretty happy with that. I think I'll probably just tighten the pencils just a little for this. Because I actually don't like the shape of Cole's head with this part. Yeah, there that goes again. My brushes tend to slow down. It's difficult to draw teeth because kind of like, do you want to give them 2D teeth or do you want to actually give them, a real nose? The one thing that's difficult about animal mouths is that they do have teeth within their funny little triangle faces. And I struggle with whether to just give them real cartoon teeth or legit teeth. Yeah, this is sort of working. Shrink you, make the nose more prominent. I sharpen it. And that should work. Now we got a slightly tighter sketch. Wee bit more expressive, I'd say. Control SU. Things are rolling. Let you go. Make this an ink. Sketches. put you in the wrong thing, but yeah. I should probably just listen to my music now. I've had my headphones down right here because I kind of prefer listening in the quiet than actually drawing. But I'm too chicken shit to do a mute stream, so yeah. I just crank the music up just a wee bit more. Because it's a lot more atmospheric with that, so I'm just going to let that rock. Also, where's my chapstick? My lips are feeling dry. Over there. Oh, there it is. Ugh. Yeah, before I just finish this inking thing, I think I'm just gonna stand up for a bit. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm finally back. Ugh. Finally back to this drawing. I have been going much slower, but I've also kind of just been procrastinating on this. Still, I mean, it is what it is with that. I can't dunk on myself about how slow I am, I suppose. Still, I figured I'd at least get these emotes done faster. But of course, I think if I didn't waste my day doing kind of alternate things, mostly kind of just tackled a bunch of outside, I guess, marketing things for Black Mass instead of actually working on the sprites. Honestly, I could probably just work on more stuff tomorrow. Maybe I'll do a short morning stream. Do some experimenting with that. Do like a short 2-hour morning stream. Nothing too elaborate. Let's get to I legit don't remember which. Okay. All you ink. Call you the hood here. And I am fretting too much about what's supposed to be a far away drawing instead of something that's supposed to be easy to see from a distance. I think I'll just get rid of you, just use this spot as where the ears are. It kind of touches, but whatever. I can nudge this a little bit as I go. Again, I am getting so anal about details that I can't remember that. I gotta remember that this is supposed to be tiny. It's supposed to look real small from a distance. So as long as I can at least get those details right, this will look fine. That kind of just really I just realized that these emotes look more. Yeah, this looks more like a round felt tip over the actual original felt tip that I was using, which is fine. I'm not gonna cry about which nib I use for my stuff. In fact, this tip actually feels better than the original tip that I was using for the first one. It feels more punchy and zippy. I think it's probably because there's no stabilization and there's a slight grit to this, so that's pretty nice. Like, it shrinks just enough for me to justify how it looks. And maybe like this as well. Man, I have so many urges to just cross hatch, but we're not supposed to cross hatch. Okay. Well, at least I got through this much faster. And I could probably shrink this a wee bit to kind of just... Yeah, this is good enough. All right. Now we got the color going. The colors, Duke. The colors. Oh. Are you alias? Yep, you're slightly alias because I can't. Yeah, it's not as, I guess, fast, but honestly, this is, I guess, my animation training because I want this to be as, well, I'd say just easy to color as possible. I'm sure there's probably just some little bits and pieces that I'm missing out on. There's so many tangents. I feel like it can't be helped. Well, actually, no. Probably could just rework this. Rework both of them. Just give him shorter teeth. His stupid shark teeth. Yeah, at this point, I'm kind of just mumbling. I probably should just shut up and draw. Probably be much faster at it, right? Entirely possible. I'll just get to color now, recolor later. Yeah. Uh-oh. I accidentally borked up this line art. Ooh. Nope. Gonna have to erase this if I want to. Lucky, lucky. All right. All right. Yep. Elaborate on that just a week later. Yes, fucking color. Just color it all. Oh. Kind of funny. Most of my art output is digital art, I'd say. But it's spend a lot of my, I guess, sketchbook time doing traditional art because I'm not a big liker of the digital, I suppose. And I kind of like pick the most basic bitch choices when it comes to, I guess, proper drawing and painting stuff. Cause that probably is a what's a recursive or a maybe a destined future, whatever it's called, where I am making the problem worse and worse because my workflow and work style is fun and unintuitive, making me hate working on the art style, and it's causing me to choose to work in a faster faster yet less intuitive style because or faster yet uncreative style because I find the drawing unintuitive. It's one of those things. I don't know. Let's see. I think I might wrap the stream once I finish this email because yeah, I am getting kind of tired. I keep thinking, oh, I took 4 cups of coffee today. I should be good. But even if it's like the second it hits 10 o'clock, I just can't continue. Is it because I'm older or is it because I'm kind of just getting not as with it? I'm not sure. For me, I'm kind of just getting bored of the current thing and I need to stand up for longer. Entirely possible. It's entirely possible. Man, my workflow's kinda ass. Oh, the music stopped. Oh, it's not that it stopped. It's that it's so ambient that you can barely hear it. Let's skip. There we are. Huh. It's not picking up on the hmm. Why is it not picking it up? Hmm. That's very strange. Well, I guess you're gonna have to deal with absolute silence. uh, about that. Well, that kind of works. Okay, that's working. I don't know why I'm getting so worked up over the music. Whatever it takes to be more consistent, I suppose. Probably should have a more straightforward thingamabobber. I can't think. I'll just wrap this up. That's what I'll do. For that, I mean, just going to. Works. That works. I feel like the brush freaking lags again. I don't know if it's me. It probably is me. I don't know. All right. Yeah. All right. Good. Thanks for the follow, the Lewis. Welcome to my Artstream where I'll be working on a bunch of streams, and I'm slightly tired, I'd say, but I'm gonna keep on working on this, and I should be done sooner or later. Thanks for deeming the stretch there. I probably should at least take 5 minutes. Uh, uh. Oh yeah, currently tackling some emotes as I do these art stuff. Blah. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to help. I'm kind of just doing a bunch of this art stuff here and, just messing about making emotes right now. And so far, so good. I've gotten 3 out of, I guess, 6 times 2 is 12. So 3 out of 12 done. So 3 out of 12. Though I think Twitch allows 10, I think. Like if you're not a, I think if you're not a, I forget what it's called. Twitch partner, Twitch subber, whatever it's called. I'm not the absolute pinnacle of all Twitch, but that's kind of just how that goes. It's nice to know the bread cat emote's working totally fine too. Okay. Let this go here. And may kind of just make you a shine here. This is supposed to multiply, but looks kind of good. Looks pretty good here. If you look at it from a distance, it looks pretty decent, I'd say. A little dark. Yeah, shading's slightly dark. It's alright. The emote's working. Things are working correctly, and we have 3 emotes down. Got basic laugh emotes, lurking emotes, and a simple hi emote. And it will be my subscriber emotes of just my OC Cole, and that's gonna work pretty decently. That should work. And then have a bunch of the other sketches left to do. I think I'm gonna wrap this stream for now because I'm actually feeling real tired. But I am gonna try to shoot for tomorrow morning though. They'll probably just have to follow me then. But yeah, if you miss out all my other streams, you can always just check out my other work at Massive Friend, at Twitter and all that stuff. I'm Twitter practically everywhere. I mean, massive friend at every Twitter and social space. I usually try to just camp on every blah. Is it social or socials? The command, I really need to figure out how on earth that command works, but right. Anywho's, follow me wherever I am, because I am badly need to sleep right now. It's currently 9:47. I thought I could stay awake longer, but I'm feeling tired. I woke up at like 3 in the morning, I guess. Well. I think I'll probably just wrap the stream for now. And I'll probably just have Cole say goodbye. Have a good night. And I'll see y'all next time.